This is Interview Connections TV, the #1 web TV show for podcasters and great guest experts. And I am your host, Jessica Rhodes, and I'm coming to you. I'm filming this actually this Saturday before I am releasing the episode. And actually, the funny thing is I already recorded an episode for this week. I had it edited and ready to go. And I just had this feeling like it's not great. It was okay. I liked the message and the tips, but I edited it and it just wasn't good. You know, do you ever do a podcast and you're like, that was not that great? Well, the message that inspired me to actually film this new episode is a lot of what I talked about in the trashed episode, and then some inspiration from a purchase I made yesterday. Well, this episode is all about how to take your podcast to the next level, how to up your game in business, but really we're focusing on podcasting here today and in this podcast. So really, I have a couple of ways that you can take your podcast to the next level. So #1, going to live events is one of the best things that you can do to take your podcast to the next level, especially if you are an interview-based show, which I'm guessing you are if you are watching Interview Connections TV. A couple of great reasons to be going to live events as a podcaster is, not only can you get the great training from the sessions and the keynotes, but you're going to be able to interact with people face-to-face and book great guest experts that you may not have had access to if you were just emailing them. I've met some amazing people face-to-face at places like New Media Expo, the Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle events that I just would not have had access to if I just emailed them. A couple events coming up that I highly recommend is Podcast Movement. I am really excited. I'm going to be speaking at Podcast Movement. I'm facilitating the panel all about how to promote your podcast. So if you want more content about how to promote your podcast via doing interviews on other shows, that's some of the content that I'm going to be contributing to that panel. And I know there's going to be a lot of other great speakers with me there. I also recommend, if you are an entrepreneur, going to Dream Business Academy. That is in Philadelphia, September 4th through the 6th. I'll be speaking there as well. My business coach, and who's also my dad, Jim Palmer, runs that event, and it is a great 2-day seminar with a 3rd-day mastermind. The next thing, in addition to live events, how to grow your podcast, join a mastermind group or just be a part of a lot of community groups. And what I mean by that, what I see a lot of podcasters doing, which I absolutely love, is creating Facebook groups for their audience. A couple that I'm a part of is the Lady Business Radio Bomb Squad. I'm a part of the Business Women Rock Facebook group, and it just gets all of the listeners interacting with each other. And the big benefit for you as a podcaster is that's a place that you can be promoting your podcast. It's a big no-no to promote your podcast in somebody else's group, but if you own the group and all of the members are people that are fans of you and that listen to your show, that's just a gold mine right there. Also, what is my other idea here? And just mastermind groups in general. Also having being a part of a mastermind group where you actually interact on the phone or maybe at live mastermind meetings with other podcasters and entrepreneurs is a great way to just increase the quality of your show. And then the reason I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that I made a purchase that kind of inspired this. And the last thing is just investing in better equipment. Investing in a better microphone and a better computer. I am the proud new owner of an iMac. After being a lifelong PC user, I was talked into it. I was just really tired. Specifically, I had a big issue, this is related to podcasting, where my Dell laptop PC, the internal microphone never turned off, so I always had this humming sound whenever I did podcast interviews, and it was really annoying, and I would always be embarrassed that when I did an interview as a guest, I was making the sound quality worse for that podcast, which I really didn't like. And there's just a number of other reasons that I made the switch to a Mac, and I am blown away at how amazing this computer is. And I'm also going to be getting a nicer microphone for when I do podcast interviews, because the one I have is not quite compatible with the Mac. And really what this does, yes, it was a lot of money spent, a big investment, but I look around at all of these successful entrepreneur podcasters and I know of that use Macs. Michael Stelzner uses an iMac, Cliff Ravenscraft uses an iMac, and just probably hundreds of others. And I just look at, okay, well, if they're using this amazing machine for their podcast, for their business, well, it must be a good thing to use, right? So just a small example there. So today is all about getting my Mac set up, transferring all the information from the PC over, and I'll just give you a little bit of a preview here. This is my office floor here. Oh, and that one in the middle there is just my old crappy computer that I'm finally restoring to factory settings and getting rid of it because it's just been collecting dust. So that's kind of what I have going on. So if you're working on an old computer, or just maybe you're just depending on the internal mic in your laptop and the quality's not that great, I can tell you, I mean, not only can investing in better equipment do wonders for the production of your show, but it can also just increase your confidence level. I mean, a couple of the interviews I did this week, I think went very well, but I was just worried that maybe the sound quality wasn't that great because my Dell was humming with the fan and everything, and I'm just really excited to produce better content with this new machine. So again, live events, masterminds, Facebook groups, better equipment, all of these things can help take your podcast up to a new level. It can help make your podcast better, and it makes people want to be a part of your community. So thank you so much for watching. Please share this video with anyone you know who would get value from it. Leave a comment if you're watching this on Facebook. Let me know what you think. Are you a Mac user? Are you part of the Mac cult? I am now, I can tell you. Oh, and I do have a new book on Amazon Kindle called Podcast Interviews. Tons of actionable tips and advice on how to have an interview-based podcast, how to leverage virtual assistants. You can find that on Amazon Kindle. Just search Podcast Interviews by Jessica Rhodes. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a great, productive week, and I will talk to you next week.